Let me introduce my wife, Deirdre. I'm sorry, I didn't.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Mary Ann.
Right, nice to meet you.
Mary Ann is a lady who likes a big Alan Metz book.
No.
Blondie book. Chris refers to it as the Bible.
Oh, that?
Yeah.
For many hours on that.
Yeah, Mary did all the time.
Oh, my God.
I had to give her the plug.
That's ridiculous.
And these, we've really been exposing the album.
Oh, great.
These things.
Thank
And I brought you the last 3 issues. So you can
right.
get bored in the car.
Oh, okay.
And I've been sending them to Romy because her and Foxy wanted.
I have my collection.
Yeah.
I've got
Okay.
them.
And I drop them off occasionally, right then?
Yes.
I was just telling John that we've interviewed everybody.
Thank you very much.
Our pleasure. Everybody but you. We got hold of John Holstrom and my sweetheart Roberta Bailey, my old girlfriend.
Yeah, oh, really?
Well, from the old days.
From the Wanderers of
The other lifetime, yeah.
Yeah.
And we had a nice little chat with her and. Oh, I was supposed to give you a message, but it's a little late. It's a few years ago. It was about a week after we lost Robbie Jaggs. A week before, he called me because we were doing an article, and he says, "Tell Debbie I got a yellow rose for her." I don't know what that is. Something, but so. Yeah, we've been trying to help out Romy with her little projects there, but she's so independent. She's doing a wonderful job. The little goodie magazine,
right?
Yeah, I think she has a clear vision of what she's doing, and what she wants to do.
All the Corso stuff. Mm-hmm. So we didn't want to bore you with all the usual stuff. I know that you get constantly,
So what are you going to bore me with?
I was going to leave that to John. It only takes 5 minutes.
Yeah. Well, you know what? This is a long time coming for us. I try not to pressure you when I do see you.
Every time you see me, you say the same thing.
I know you said that last time. But, it's a labor of love. The magazine's a labor of love. And, the fans are crazy for you, And,
well, I hope they give you some dough for that.
No, it's just something that I enjoy.
Labor of love. They don't pay you at all?
We put every penny and then some into the charities you represent.
Same charities.
Oh, thank you.
The Humane and the Heart Thing and Breast Cancer.
Thank you.
Well, we do it because we like it, otherwise we wouldn't do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Listen, I was walking around lower New York in the 70s with 2 drumsticks in my back pocket trying to find work.
Oh, yeah.
We're the same age, except you look a little bit better than I do.
And more cosmetic surgery than
No, you look a lot better. And this strange place called CBGB's opened up. Mm-hmm. We went in there a few times. I don't know who I talked to. I wish I did, because a lot of them were probably somebody who became somebody. You did just faces, cigarettes, beer, and faces. That's all it was back then.
Certainly.
And by the way, I never got a job from him.
I just TPR now.
I told John that if I was a little bit better, then Clem might have been unemployed.
Or dead.
Or on the outs. All right.
But that's all changed. We lost Tilly. That was so sad.
All right. Sure.
And I used to say hello to him every time I went down. I don't know if you remember. We went to John Holstrom's party down there. And then I found out, at that party, who's my neighbor, Tina Lehman. My neighbor.
Yeah, she lives over in Fairfield.
Yeah. All right. So, that was a great night, too. So, questions, John?
Yeah, just kind of some loose questions here, some thoughts that been a little bit curious about. First and foremost, I thought it was awfully cool that you, I believe it was the shirt that I gave you, the Dr. X.
Oh, yeah.
And you wore that on the True Colors tour.
Yeah, I love that shirt.
And because
I had one originally.
Right.
It disappeared, and then you replaced it, so.
I remember you saying that.
I felt very fortunate.
I appreciate
Dr.
that.
Dr. X came back to me, especially now that Fabulous Moolah has recently died.
I know, I
just read that. So, Chris and I were commiserating over the phone that Moolah had died.
Right. Everything is...
I think McMahon actually called Chris.
Oh, is that right?
To tell her
No kidding.
that Moolah had died. Yeah.
Hardcore. Yeah. You're the second night out with the tour. How do you feel that it's going so far? And,
it's good.
Yeah.
It's building. The first night was really, really rewarding and warm. It's New York. It was home, and it was a lot of fun. And that that venue has such a charge to it, so that was really great. And we had all of our friends there, our special guests and everything. So that was great. It was really cool. And then they came up and they played with us also last night. So tonight's our first night, without any special guests.
And that was Miss Guy last night. Was that a PA?
We had 4 people. We had Barb and Charlie, producers of Super Buddha.
Right.
We had the Bronx Gypsy, Nomi, and this guy.
Amy was in
Right.
last night.
Philadelphia, right.
She writes for us. Excellent. Been a lot of good reviews. I mean, there's been nothing but good first 2 shows.
It's a good band.
Yeah.
They're good guys.
How do you find them? Do you find them yourself?
No, this is all Tom Brislin. I hired Tom as a musical director and programmer, and he's so talented. He's a brilliant guy, and he brought in different players. My first tour was Cindy. We used the drummer from the recording session, Mark Marone, and this time around we came out with Paul Wells instead, but we added bass player this trip.
Right.
So we went out originally with just the trio, and Tom thought it would be a little punchier if we added bass player. So. Yeah, well, we have the first show was Cindy's tour was only 30 minutes long, so it was like just such a quick little shot. This is an hour and 15, whatever. So we need the extra instrument. I think makes it a little fuller.
How do you feel about the radio waves now?
The what?
Radio
The
waves.
current state of music, art, and what's out there now.
I think some of it's really great. I actually gave Rick here's he's front of house sound, and I gave him some of my personal CDs collection of music that I like to listen to and that I play in the car and stuff for the walk-in music. So there's a lot of stuff in there. Smashing Pumpkins in there,
Yeah, well,
LCD, MIA,
Should brought my daughter.
Justice.
Cool.
A lot of nice stuff.
So you're out there in the clubs. You go to different shows. You're on the pulse of what's happening. Right.
Not exactly, but I try. I mean, I try to. It's fun. Stuff is. There seems like there's a lot of really good bands now that are holding their own, and that really have sort of a band mentality. It's not just producer's dream, and
What I always wondered about is what you thought about the media's concept of what you do, who you are, and what Blondie is.
I'm always amazed by that.
Is it that far off the mark, or is it concise? What are your thoughts on that?
I'll tell you the honest truth is that what I've learned over the years is that some people are, so accurate and so exactly right. It's completely so wonderful, but most of the time it's just, I don't know, everything that can possibly be said is said. And it's just sort of this sort of wash of personal interpretation. And it's very, it really has more to do with the writers usually than it has to do with being objective and just really being observant. And, it's very hard to be objective about music, I think.
I've read scores of interviews, and sometimes I can't get halfway through them, and there's really no insight into what I think that you guys do. They miss the mark largely, and it goes over their head or whatever it is. But that must have some sort of impact.
Well, yeah, the indie publications are
Right.
the ones that tell the story.
Mm-hmm.
You go from Rolling Stone and New York Times to the tabloid down on the West Coast. Like you said, you get everything.
Mm-hmm.
Just everything. But the indies, the small college papers and all, shit, a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, they're a little bit. They don't have any real vested interest other than understanding things. They're
Yeah.
free to just understand things.
I just wanted to point this. We did a retro back in the beginning of Julie and Jackie.
Oh yeah,
And the whole gang. So,
you found Jackie?
no,
I was gonna say.
I got a lead on. I don't know who it was. It was one of the ladies from back then who never returned my call. Still living in Manhattan somewhere. I don't know if it was. And who it was through, believe it or not, I ended up talking to Tish and Snuggie. Crazy ladies, a lot of fun, all a lot of fun. And they just kept me on the phone for an hour and a half. I just couldn't, conference call, I couldn't get rid of them. And I didn't want them. A lot of fun. It just reminds me so much of, younger days.
They're great. They're really.
Not that they're good now, but.
Survived well,
Well, but there was so, this whole background of friends and associates is just so broad spectrum. And Rob Roth, I've had him on the phone a few times. I mean, how does one person get all that up here?
Rob?
Yeah, all the talent that's what I don't know.
He's busy.
He's just nuts with intelligence, and artistically and vision, and album covers. And he was telling me about some things he wanted to do with this yellow and gold stuff. And they're going with yellow and gold.
Yeah.
I really don't know what you're talking about. It turned out to be the album cover. with the dragon fire and all.
Oh, yeah.
I had no idea what he was talking about. Big, great creative guy.
Nice guy.
Yeah,
Sensitive
very
guy.
nice guy. Yeah.
Hard worker.
Yeah.
Very hard worker.
Well, they all, they all are. Even, just talking to Romy, they're scratching at times. They're producing this fantastic thing.
The literary world, forget it. It's complete. I mean, if you think the record industry is in the tubes, forget it. Publishing, forget it.
Their mission is to give people a break. That Barnes and Noble, I don't know who the publishers are. Big boys won't talk to them, and they're doing that. They're doing some real nice stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Probably boring you to death now.
Well, I mean, it's stuff that I've had on my mind for a long time.
It's things that we started this about 8 years ago. Remember, this next issue will be our 8th anniversary.
Uh-huh.
And after talking to all these people, Abby Amon and Kitty Boots, Jane County, John introduced me to Jane.
Jane is genius. I just think Jane is so brilliant.
5 seconds later, I got a big wet kiss.
From Jane?
Oh, great.
And he got it up.
I did, yeah. I guess.
You've been baptized.
Yeah.
Church of Jane.
I wasn't doing
Church of Jane, forget it. Oh my God.
One thing, your impact on style and culture has been indeed vast. Do you feel you get your due credit for that? I mean, based on what you see out there, you see a lot of models kind of, do your style, a little homage to it and so on and so forth. But I mean, is there an awareness that in fact, let's be honest, a lot of that came directly from you? You're singularly responsible for a lot of that imagery that they put on massive billboards in Times Square. How does that make you feel? And what's your view on that?
I don't know. I never really. All I did was feel my way through, and it wasn't like I had an overview of, making any kind of big statement. My little self was just trying to, feel right and look good and make the whole thing sort of come together. I just wanted to be comfortable within my skin, within my clothes, within the whole deal, and that was really all I was concerned about. I think if I had been, really like Rob with an overview and design concept, I would be really uptight that they were, copying me and ripping me off. But I quite honestly didn't have that kind of presence of mind, and I feel that it was kind of personal evolution, and in a way, it was part of style of the time. I wasn't completely unique. I was, getting things from other girls, putting it together, and in a lot of cases, some of the things were definitely, from my own concept, my own comfort zone, and other things were an amalgamation. So, it's like I don't really feel that I own everything about it. I own a lot of it because I have to be photographed, and it didn't work. I really, I got lucky with some really, things that really gelled right. And I think some of the stuff was also from working with Steve Sprouse, so can't really claim everything.
And timing had a great deal to do with that.
Yeah.
Very good timing. One other, yeah.
But all those bitches are dead.
Well, that's what we don't hear.
I'm gonna get them now.
Where is Jerry's Joplin? Courtney fought tooth and nail to get one of your old Sprouse outfits.
Oh.
It ended up on, I don't know where it ended up anyway.
I don't know.
But she showed up at one of our parties in New York.
Yeah, right.
Roaring,
Yeah, she did.
flowing,
She did.
thing
And Tracy had one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And then a lot of the stuff from the mother auction.
Right.
Back in, what was that,
So that was for the ASPCA.
Yeah.
I only had one thing in that, and I wish that I hadn't sold it because the person who bought it, they had a hard time collecting money from.
Oh.
She was like a lunatic.
It wasn't the panties.
It was tights. It was tights.
Yeah.
Camouflage tights.
Teresa Hale.
I don't know, but she gave them a really hard time about paying.
But one other thing.
She got your money.
I don't know. I had nothing to do with money. It wasn't,
Well, I just thought it was cute the way Courtney just, she went to this was the second auction. I gotta have them. I just didn't have them. She loves Sprouse stuff.
What would you like to do that you haven't done? You've done so much.
I'd like to have a lead part in the film, a really responsible character to develop and, to carry all the way through. Usually I just get little parts.
Heavy was
Heavy was great.
It was a good part. That was a good part.
That was great movie.
But I mean, it wasn't like the lead part. It didn't really. It was a, associate kind of character. It wasn't like I wasn't carrying the film or anything.
Yeah. Well, have we bored you then?
No. Bore me a little bit more, and then I'm going to go.
Lewis's list. Louis Bustamante. He runs the website along with Barry Kramer. He has a message board and a list that watch your every move pretty
Yeah, there's no secret.
intensely, and and people log on every day and correspond with one another. Do you ever go on the list? And would you ever go on a list for somebody else to be curious about what someone else is doing?
Every single end of the day?
No.
Yeah, I believe in. I like mystery, and I like.
You watch like that.
It's so silly.
It's silly. So you see it as silly.
Yeah, and it's like there's so much misinformation on the internet that it's just. I mean, really, there's a sort of confusion to me about the internet. It's like. It hasn't. It's sort of like it hasn't really come down to its final importance, because it should be just this board that has really factual information on it that you can just go to. It's like a reference machine,
Mm-hmm.
But it's not that. It's basically now it's a gossip machine.
It's distorted.
And it's interesting because, like, the whole idea of the universe and all of us being connected, as this one mind, has actually happened now in the material world. But it's all fucked up.
It is.
And it's curious because, maybe with that, because everybody's like chattering away, blah, 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 maybe with that, like the real, sort of international or whatever they call that, the mind, that unconscious mind will actually really develop between people, and maybe that's what this instrument is for, is to actually make that brain that we all have finally, really know how to communicate. And then the machine, the little plastic machine, will actually just be that little instrument board that keeps track of all the facts, And maybe we're sort of at this interim stage with that.
Right.
That's what I hope,
Right.
because it's so annoying to have to deal with all that stuff. It's sort of funny, right? Yeah. How everybody gets all this minutia.
Here's what I did today.
Well, it's good. I mean, it's also bad in the fact that it's sort of it unifies people, but yet it isolates them physically.
Absolutely.
So I mean, we're sort of we really are at this interim stage because like one of the values I've always felt about popular music and rock and roll was that it was this sort of tribal, physical experience. That everybody get together and this. I mean, as we know from all of the events and everything that we went to and how it all sort of started,
Right.
that was such a thrill and such a treat,
Right.
See what happens.
It's a double-edged sword. Like you said, it's still evolving, so hopefully we are in there.
I've got one huge favor before we go.
Okay.
I've got 5 guys on my staff that work very hard and would love to have 5 signed.
No problem.
I don't have my stupid marker.
Yeah, we've got
Thanks, Rick.
Rick is always
Amy
Mr. Marker.
Amy was at the show last night in Philly. She did all the proofreading.
She had it on the cover?
Yeah, sure, please.
I don't know how good it's going to show, but.
Well, anything that can bring stuff and hang on to.
AMY?
Amy, AMY.
I can't believe you guys do all this.
And that's Eddie,
Eddie?
i.e. He does all the color, all the printing. He actually does that for us for $2. The other 3 goes into the charity. Yeah. He's out in Cincinnati. I think his partner gets a little angry with him. Eddie is Eddie, and he says, that magazine's got to have 4 color pages about it.
Yeah, right.
And we have John.
Historian.
John is man, you talk about people, Chris has a collection. John Cellar, garage, what?
Basement I have for the
Anything you want over the years.
we used to do that.
70s, stiletto time.
You're a historian.
Historian archivist, yes.
Yeah. Chris is putting his photos together now. We're really trying to, digging out stuff,
Yeah, Barry Kramer was telling me he was up there helping him sort some stuff.
Right.
Yeah, he's got a big collection. We could move on our cellar right now.
Oh. Moving this all around.
Climate control.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I just got mine all straightened out. I mean, a lot of it, my files.
Well, I meant to ask you, Chi-Chi still around?
No, she just died.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And Paige?
Peach is with us.
Did you have help getting organized with your stuff?
What?
Did you have help getting?
Yeah, I hired a professional archivist because I had so much stuff, and it was all getting ripped and shredded and falling apart. She put it in the right boxes and everything, so I tried to do the right thing.
Louise is in the UK, and she's howling around now with Michelle Hendricks, Sam Hill, that whole crowd.
And the Blondie cover bands.
Yeah.
Oh, great. I have all those things over there.
Who is that? What was the last guy? 9 or 7 that are very active.
Blondie.
Yeah. Her real name is Deborah Harris.
Deborah Harris.
So weird.
Yeah. That's her little old Bob.
Little Bob being you.
Yeah. The drummer that's out of work.
You should carry those 6 with you at all times.
I told you, Mayor.
Now you'll be happy for a long time. I know.
No, I couldn't carry Clem's thing.
I
That
think
guy,
so.
he is something.
Yeah.
I met Gene Group, I studied his style for a long time.
Yeah.
And Cozy Cole and a few others, and I ran into Clem. That's it, I gotta put the drums up in the attic. My career is over.
Well, now you've done all this for me. What can I do for you?
Just have a good time tonight.
Well,
Can we get a picture of standing with you for the moment?
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
We should do that for sure.
Would you like me to take a quick photo?
Please.
I'm gonna leave this in just in case. Evan has been real helpful, by the way, he's a good guy.
Yeah, Evan's new on the job.
Yeah.
He's a drummer.
Is he?
Zoom in, zoom out.
You should definitely talk to him about his years as a drummer.
And actually, Kovac. Kovac was very, very good.
So Alan?
Yeah, Alan.
Alan.
In the old days. Yeah.
Okay.
Where are we?
We're all together.
Okay.
Are we all in?
All in. Right, they were. Now, a little bit closer there on the outside. On 3. 1, 2. Oh, that's lovely. One more for good measure. Count of 3. 1, 2, 4. Very nice.
Thank you.
Oh, good. Thank you guys for all of your devotion and sweetness. No, here we go.
Good luck.
Once again. All right.
Thank you.
I'll see you later.
Okay, Deb.
Are you going to hang out at the casino or just right back to
Right back to our.
Well, we're right next to her.